chord. Thank you, Siri. Well, we're talking about chords again. There's so many chords to talk about. How many? We're going to talk about a few. Okay. Look, so we talked about this before. I'm here with my friend Zack in his lesson, and we're talking about how to voice lead from an A minor to a C and probably some other places too. But I'm just going to take a moment to provide some background on the subject. Hey, look, it's a guitar. Hey, look, Trident cinnamon gum. Okay. That is not a paid product placement. I just enjoy it. How can I really got to fire this shaky camera guy. Okay. So, no, we want something like that. Hey, that's pretty good. Okay, what I want to do is first, okay, A minor to C. If you hold your regular old C major, and then you hold your regular old A minor, you can hear the voice leading on the top 3 strings. Hey, let's fire up a second camera so we can show the right hand. And is it? Oh yeah, it kind of worked. You can sort of see that those strings in there. I need to change them so they're sparklier. Okay, so okay. So C, A minor, C, A minor. Oh look, right here we have this C chord. You can hear the voices and how to voice lead them, because the only difference between these two chords is one voice moves. To go from C major to A minor. It's hard to show because it's under my fingers that are hiding them here. That's why I took them away. Is it C major, A minor, A minor. If I wanted to move to the next inversion and play like this inversion of C, that's a good way of showing it, is that what happens is the voice that moves in opposition to the bass. The voice of the chord, the 5th of the C chord, moves up to the root of the A minor chord, as the root of the C chord right there moves down to the open A string. So the root goes down from there, from the 3rd fret to the open string, and the treble voice moves up. And this is what happens when you voice lead chords where the root, this is what happens when you voice lead chords where the root is moving by a 3rd. Now, if the root is moving by a 6th, it's still a 3rd. If you were going from C to, let's see, we went down a 3rd, or we could go up a 3rd to from C to E minor. So it moves in opposition. We'll do E minor in a second. So this root motion goes down, and in opposition, one voice moves. So as I move down, the 5th of the C chord moves up to the root of the A minor chord. And I can do that again in this next inversion.
Is that a real quick question while you're doing this as
Sure.
well?
Yeah.
The one thing I wanted to know is that also one of my questions now that I remember was saying, when you're going up or down a 3rd, which I believe you just said the 5th, is there an easy way to tell for the 5th and moving up a step what notes are going to be switching to remember? So if I'm going down a 3rd, oh, I just got to switch the 5th to the root note of the next chord. Like, is there, what's the pattern between moving? I would say.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, when we're moving by a 3rd, the move so if we're descending by a 3rd, the root of the chord you're on is going to move up a step. The goal of voice leading is always to move stepwise as possible, because that makes it as singable as possible and also as traceable by the ear as possible. And because you and I have talked about this, but maybe these folks on YouTube aren't familiar with this idea. Like 500 or 600 years ago, we didn't have names for chords. These things didn't have names. They just was like Joe singing this and Merle singing that, you know, Joe singing and Merle singing this and Louise singing that, right? But we didn't have a name for that. And before we named all these chords and gave them names, Joe and Merle and Louise figured out how to have Louise go up a step, and it sounded good, and we thought, oh, that's cool. And then they got their friend Fred to sing bass, and and they all sang those places. And then eventually we started to name those slices in time as chords. And the reason why I harp so hard on voice leading and learning harmony, is because if you learn the voice leading and you sing it and you get it in your ear, it really enhances your relative pitch. It enhances your ability to sing, to play along with records. It just enhances your overall musicality. And this is how it occurred historically. It's how it was how it was achieved, how harmony was found, and it makes sense for aspiring musicians and students to learn it the same way that it was found. So, okay, just a little background on that. Okay, when you're going down by a third, the fifth of the chord you are presently on is going to move up, and it will become the root of the next chord, right? So, for example, if I keep going down, so I'm going from A minor and now I've got to go to F. Oh, it's a little bit tricky, but I'm going to actually, because it's hard for me to reach this F chord and then that F way down there, I'm not going to do that. No. What I will do is, I'll put it here. And so you think, wait a second, you moved the root. You didn't move the root down a third, you moved up a sixth. And what you need to remember is that the sixth is the inversion of the third. If you add, I went from A down to F, right? And that's down a third. But if I pop that F up an octave, you're going up a minor sixth. So going up a sixth is the same as down a third, and going down a sixth is the same as up a third. But it's useful to think about it. It's most useful to think about it in terms of the smaller interval, because then you can remember this, that the voices will always move in opposition to the bass of that smaller interval. So, for example, when we're going from A minor down to F major, oh, look, the fifth of that A minor chord, there it is, that E, right? It's going to go up one step to become this F chord. And there we have the voice leading there, A minor, F major. You can also see it in open position. Like, there's your, sorry. And maybe we'll do that. A minor, F, A minor. Just that one voice is moving there. That's coming up from E to F as A is going down to F. Like so. A minor. Oops, sorry. Helps if I change the chord. I guess I would do that. Like so. So you can do this. Let's see. I'm going to go in so chord progressions that, oh, my OBS just quit on me. Why do you do this, OBS? Hold on. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Okay, fine. Okay. We were just doing descending in thirds, which harmonically happens more often. You don't as often go up by thirds, but when you go up by thirds, let's see what happens there. So I'm going to go from this C major chord right here. Let's get both those cameras happening. Okay, C major chord, right? And I'm going to go up to an E minor, but because of I could do it this way. I'm going to take this C and go up to that E like that. So I'm going from C there to E there, and then I'm going to play this E minor. And lo and behold, what happens is the root, as you go up a third, the root of the chord that you're on, goes down and becomes the fifth of the next chord. Oops, I went there. Let me do that again. So as I'm going up from C to E, oops, got a little overzealous in my sliding there. Up there to E. I'm going up, the C here is coming down. So as the root rises up a third, the other root in the chord will go down to E minor. So let's do another cycle. So we go from C, C to E minor. I'm gonna pop that root down an octave just to make it easier for me because I always believe in efficiency. To E minor, and then I'm gonna keep going up a third, right? So where does that go? Well, up a third from E minor is to G. So the same thing happens. That root of the E minor is gonna fall a step to G, and then I can keep going. Oh, but do we really want to go to a B diminished? Sure, we can do that. Oh, lordy. B diminished. The root went up from G to B, and this G falls to that F right there. So from G, B diminished. Like so. Keep going up a third from B up to B diminished up to D minor. So then the root's going to, oh, there it is, right there. The root of that chord is going to fall to the fifth of the next chord. Keep going up from D minor to F major. Oh, okay. The D is going to fall to the fifth of the F. D minor, F, or D minor, F, D minor, F. Keep going up. Oh, from F to A minor. This sounds familiar. We go up. That F right there went down to E. A minor, and then we're back to where we started. A minor up to C. This A, the root of the A minor chord, is going to fall to the fifth of the C chord. I think, is it true, Zach, that I gave you like a document that has like the chords broken down by letter names, not actually notation, but letter names?
Yes, I believe so. When you shared it on your screen briefly on the last video.
Oh, you don't have it?
No, I don't believe I do. I'll double check. I'll check my email. I'll double check the email.
It's you know what probably happened is I probably dropped it in the chat in the Zoom. Yeah, but let's do that right now. Hold on a second. Hey, we're back, but we just had while I was looking for this document, we had a brief digression into Joe Walsh and how awesome Joe Walsh is. And Joe Walsh did a fun and wonderful interview with the podcast called Wong Notes, and it's the dude from Wolfpack, whatever his name is, something Wong, I forget what his name is, but he's got a podcast, and if you can endure his relentless positivity and energy, which, I mean, endure is unkind, but he's like, I'm a Corey Wong, that's his name. He's a brilliant rhythm guitar player, and the podcast is really nice too, but like, it's so high energy. I can't even, I don't know, whatever, but he's wonderful. And the interview with Joe Walsh is absolutely lovely. And he talks about all these people that he gave guitars to and basically defined the sound of modern rock guitar. It's quite amazing. Okay, now, aside from that digression, so let's go over here, boys and girls. This is from a book called, there's a lot of ways to get at this information, but this one requires no musical notation, which guitar players like. It's from this book, The Almanac of Guitar Voice Leading for the Year 2001 and Beyond by Mick Goodrick. And there's just a few pages in here, and this book is out of print. If you can find copies of these things, they're ridiculously expensive, but the information, particularly this information, is available lots of places. And this is exactly what we were talking about here, cycle 3. So we're moving by thirds. And so this one is cycle 3. He's moving up. He calls moving down by thirds cycle 6. When I teach people how to go up or down by thirds with this particular piece of paper, I just encourage people to play it backwards. Play this chord, then play this chord, then this chord, then this chord, then this chord, then this chord. But what we're saying here is as the root goes from up to C, this C is going to go down to B. And then as this E root goes up to G, this E is going to go down to D. And as this G chord goes up to B, that G goes down to F. That was precisely what we did. Likewise, if I start from this C chord, this fifth of the G chord is going to move up to the A right there. And then as I move from the A minor down from A to F, this E is going to move up to F. I guess this trains your eyes for some, backwards movement too as well. And that's what the question that you were asking about. And I'm going to just send you this little PDF when we get off the phone here. Oh, this is cycle 7. So this is moving down by steps. Again, and what you see when you move down by steps, cycle 7 is so I'm going down by steps. C, B, A, G, F, is that all of the voices will move up. 2 of the voices will move by step, and 1 of them will move by a third. And then finally, our longtime favorite, when we move by fifths. So when you go up by a fifth, up from C to G, 2 voices move down. Right? The third of the chord becomes the fifth of the next chord, and the root of the chord becomes the leading tone of the next chord. You can see that here. This is what he's talking about. Oh, the fifth of this chord becomes the root, the third becomes the fifth, and the root becomes the third. I think the most important thing to do is to actually play the grips, and get it under your finger and get it under your ear. Sing the individual parts. This business down here, what this is that all of the parts of this chord change, these are close position triads and these are spread triads. I'm not going to belabor that today, but all of them sing this melody. This melody is just happening. It's a canon in 3 parts. So look, C, B, A, then start the next one, A, G, F, F, E, D. Every little 3-note cell begins on the last one and then moves by steps. So you move, move, stay, move, move, stay. So we get, oh, look, C, B, A, G, F, F, E, D, D, C, B. And this is the little song that this particular chord movement makes. It's the same thing here. You can see, oh, look, D, C, B, B, A, G, G, F, E. It's still singing that song, but starting in a different place. And this is what these numbers are about. So for the fifth, here we start on G. Oh, G, G, F, E, E, D, C, and so forth. He has that for each of these guys. Like so down here, C, D, E, G, A, B, moves in a different way. So there's a different melody that is sort of like, he calls this the MSRP. I forget what it's just like a funny pun for him, but I forget that's something about the reduction of the whatever. But that is the voice leading. It's the voice movement. And that's the fun part of that, is just knowing that each part it's a canon. Each part, the root third and fifth of each chord is just singing the same part. G, 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 F, 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 E, 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 D, 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 C, 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 and on and on and on. I will drop that. I'll text that to you or email that to you, something too. Okay, let's take a step back and see where we are. Where are we, Zach? How we doing?
Very good. No, that was perfect. I think you mentioned before you didn't want to share that for legal reasons. Or is the other document? I remember you showed me two. You showed me 2 notes from books. I think it was the other one that you said, yeah, you can't send you this or something.
I can't remember. I mean, I think I'm not going to comment on this.
Yeah, I got you.
But like, for in the spirit of education, and especially because this book is out of print, like it's a real shame. So I will say this information is available in a lot of other places. It's available in my mentor's book, Harmonic Experience, as well. But it requires greater note reading abilities to get at it. And that can be an impediment for a lot of guitarists. Okay, I'm going to pause while I actually send this thing to your email. And then we did something completely different, which is like Sister Sledge, like, well, this thing. That bit, this type of funk guitar. Not like that, though. That business. And what you're asking about is this stuff with the right hand. So, an exercise is to get better at that. Do I even? Nope. Let me try this. Well, I guess the first thing I want to say about that is that, let's see if I can show it maybe this way. Nope, can't do that. Okay, last time. So I'm going to back up though. Maybe back that camera up. So first thing I would say about the funk guitar thing, it's like a 2-phase motion. It's like your arm is moving once, and then there's this 2 times rotation with your wrist. this way. 2-phase motor. That's how I feel it and express it. That guy Corey Wong we were talking about earlier, like you watch his right hand and it's insane. I don't know how he does what he does. It's really interesting. He actually, I think he has like a curved thumb because when he comes up, I think the pick is hitting the strings at a different angle. But the first thing I would do is probably just practice on the muted strings. I'm just muting all my strings, you know. And then I would accent different beats. So first, this is 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Accent the first beat, 1. And then maybe put a chord with it and just play that one. And you may have to slow it down. And then just try different combinations. You can do a permutation on this, but I'm just going to do each of just one beat. So the first one, and I'm just very quickly squeezing the chord and then releasing it in time for the next upstrum. And then work on the upstroke. So not the first downstroke, but the upstroke. So accent it first, go. So I'm accenting that upstroke. It's a different coordination. And then work on the second downstrum. And then work on the the second upstrum or the fourth strum. You can see my knee going. So first one. Then the second one. Second downstroke. And getting the foot going and the coordination with the foot or the knee is really, really important because you've got to have a sense of the pulse for this kind of music. Oh, there's a second one. And then the fourth one. And then you start putting them together in combination. So I was just doing each beat. So then you could say, oh, hey, let me play the first one and the fourth one. So it's. And then if you start strumming along with whatever tune, right, you're trying to figure out how they're strumming it, it's always going to be this constant motion thing. And you can just put the record on and just play drums, you know, before you even try to do the chords. Hear that same pulse. Da, 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 It's like down, up, down, up, down. Like so. I gotta go, man. Sorry.
You're all good, man.
Running late for my next lesson. But that was
You're
fun. That was cool because we did both the left-hand side and the voice leading stuff and also a little bit of that right hand. Was that helpful to what you're trying to do?
No, perfect. I didn't even think about moving my arm along with my wrist because I was trying to all use it in wrist motion and stuff like that too. So that even the second one was tough, man. That second one is tough, starting with the upstroke.
It's like it looks like this. It's like this. The wrist is moving twice as fast, but the arm is digging into it.
Yes.
It looks like what people do when they dance to this stuff.
Yeah.
But keep the foot going. That's the thing. If you haven't watched the Tommy Emmanuel video with Rick Beato, it's really great. And he talks about the foot thing too. Tommy Emmanuel is like one of the greatest guitar players alive. And if you're getting into Knopfler, you should definitely check out Tommy Emmanuel.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it as always.
It's my pleasure. Happy New Year.
Sir. Happy New Year. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.